and it's like a river, and you're like, I'm not risking driving on that road, so we turn around and go another way. But yeah, other than that, it's all right. I'm from England, so I'm used to a bit of rain. This is just...
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, as you would imagine, training out in Thailand, you've got legends there, like Brian Ebersol, obviously Roger Huerta. Is this training camp there, has it brought out any changes to anything we've maybe seen from you recently? Are we likely to see an elevation in Shea Walsh's fight game?
I think definitely so. I mean, this is the best version there's ever been of me. I'm always working hard and trying to improve and train hard between fights. But just the lifestyle that I'm leading at the moment, being out here training with all these top guys, is bringing me on to the next level, and I'm improving in every area.
Well, that sounds exciting stuff. Before we get to your title fight against Ed Arthur, I want to just first go back to your most recent win, which was over then undefeated Gary Pilot. And going into that contest, you're up against what was essentially a pure grappler. Well, we certainly saw in that fight he played the grappling game, and we saw you overcome that heavy clinch game from the Spitfire, particularly in that opening 5 minutes. Until then, you were able to get your game going, and then ultimately finish him, on the ground. Is that something you had trained for going into that fight, Shea? Prepare for a fighter who was looking to wear down your game with just grappling?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'd watched Gaz fights in the past, and I knew him from the scene anyway. I knew where his strength was. He was a BJJ brown belt, and he had a lot of submission victories. That's what he likes to do, is come in and get older people and slow them down a little bit and then catch them in a submission. So the training for that was to avoid it. I knew that I could grapple with him, but I was also confident that I had the upper hand in the striking. So I just worked a lot of takedown defence and basically pushing him off me, making space, and then letting some shots go.
And it certainly was an impressive performance in Birmingham, and you returned there for your title shot against King Arthur. What's your thoughts on the bantamweight champion, and how do you foresee this fight going down?
He's the bantamweight champion. He won it in his last fight, so unfortunately for him, he's not going to have a chance to defend the belt. But he's good, he's decent in all areas. I know he wants to win. He's gonna be really game and looking to get that win. But I just feel my experience and just my skills in every area is too much for him. It's a big step up for him in competition. He's beaten a couple of okay guys, and now he's fighting one of the best bantamweights in Europe, and he's going to realise that there's a big difference there.
Wow, at the Barcarlaycard Areana as well. Well, you obviously had a huge vocal support back in June last time you were there. And however, in saying that, so does Ed Arthur. He has his support too. Do you think it'll be a contest maybe outside the cage as well? Fans back and forth, have the place rocking, that kind of thing? I
think it's going to definitely be a great atmosphere. I'm really looking forward to it. Like you say, we both bring some support with us. So yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun in there. The place is going to be rocking, and everyone's going to be getting behind their guys. So I'm looking forward to that.
We certainly can't wait for this fight, sir. And we want to thank you again for giving us your time here on Martial Arts Chat. Just one or two more questions, Shea, and then I'll let you go. Just going back to that fan base, how does it feel when you go to places like the Barcarlaycard Arena and you've got the place rocking, like you said, people are chanting your name? It must give you a real drive and motivation, right?
Oh, definitely. It's hard to explain. Over time, my crowd has got bigger and bigger with each fight, and I just really appreciate all the support. And like you say, it's just a great feeling coming out there, and the places, especially last time, they made a hell of a lot of noise. To my name, I had like a little smile to myself, thinking, "These are loud. These are loud."
Well, have you got a message for those fans then? Come the 14th of November, have you got anything to say to them?
Yeah, I just, I'm really bit up. We want a lot of noise, shouting, and
let's get that place rocking. Well, Shea, thanks once again for your time here on Martial Arts Chat Podcast. We look forward to seeing you contend for that bantamweight title on the 14th of November, and it's a pleasure to have you on the show, sir. We look forward to speaking to you again soon.
Alright, thanks a lot. Thanks
very much, sir.
Panic boom!
Ed King Arthur is a 6-0 bantamweight and the newly crowned king of the 135-pound division. Martial Arts Chat managed to catch up with him on his way back from training to give us his thoughts on life as a champion. And Ed, thank you so much for joining us here on the Martial Arts Chat Podcast.
No worries at all, mate. Thank you very much for having me.
So BAMMA23 in Birmingham is just round the corner. And Ed, I guess the first and most obvious question, how's training camp been for you leading up to your first title defence as the Bantamweight King?
Mate, it's been a different experience, this training camp up until this fight, because it's the first training camp that I've had where I'm no longer working at all. I just train people here and there, but I train full-time myself now.
Excellent.
Up until even the last fight, I was still working part-time, so it's 100%, life's completely revolved around this game now. So there's been a few injuries this camp, but being adversity, mate, keeps the mind strong, so it's been a good camp.
And imagine, sort of like you alluded to there, life as a champion now, things completely different for you, life's changed, or is it business as usual at MO Martial Arts? How are we looking in terms of being full-time?
I'm doing all my training at NFM Windsor under Dean Hammersinger now. Don't get me wrong, I still train here and there with Dennis and Sutherland at MO Martial Arts, but pretty much all my training is done at NFM Windsor. But life as a champ, I don't really know. My bank balance doesn't make me feel like I'm a big-time champion, but it feels good, mate. I've been getting a lot more praise and credits, which just makes me want to work even that harder.
Excellent. Well, if we could just go back, Ed, for a moment to BAMMA20, like just cast our minds back there and sort of relive that fantastic win that brought you the title. The crowd are rocking, chants of King Arthur ringing around the Barcarlaycard Arena. Are you expecting more of the same come November 14th from your fans?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, the thing is with my friends, there could be 20 of them there could be 1,000 of them there. For some reason, it always seems to sound like the same. They seem to make enough noise no matter what, but I don't think I'm bringing quite as last time I got about 90 people. I think I got about 50 or 60 this time, but I know Shea brings a big crowd as well, so I think it's going to sound complete madness in there, and I can't wait. The atmosphere is going to be, I'm going to feed off it big time. I can't wait.
I know what a fight that was that brought you that title. As we said, it was electric atmosphere. But more on your opponent this time around for your title defence, Shea Walsh. He comes in with a lot of experience. What are you expecting from this fight, and how do you see it going down?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a good fight. He poses a few different things. Nothing that makes me think, oh my God, I've got to avoid that or anything like that. Obviously, we know what he's coming with. He's coming with his Muay Thai from Tiger Muay Thai, and I know that he was before he started training all the time, a lot more of a grappler, kind of grinder style. So I'm expecting pressure from him, trying to walk me down, but I'm the exact same. I'll be putting pressure on him, walking him down. I'll probably keep it a lot more boxing range, I think, and we'll go from there and see what happens. But to be honest, I haven't got no set game plan. I'm just going to go in there. The other thing I'm thinking about is not letting him land his leg kicks, punishing him every time he tries to do that.
Yeah.
Apart from that, I'm just going to go in there free and just see what happens.
We had a chance to speak to Shea earlier on this morning, and he was very respectful of you, sir, and your abilities, but he certainly has it in mind that his experience will just be too much for yourself. What's your thoughts? What's your comments on that?
It's a good observation for him to think I've only got 6 pro fights, but that's not the first time I've heard that.
Yeah.
I've heard that a few times. This guy's got more experience. Alan had more experience. Cutting before that had more experience. Even when I fought Nathaniel Wood, they said, oh, he's on a rise, you've only got 2 fights, he's got 4 and he's been knocking people out.
Yeah.
I'm used to it, you know what I mean? I'm trying to throw myself into the deep end here because I know what I'm like when I'm sparring against other high-level guys and things like that. It's not something I'm faced off. I know how better I get between fights. So that last fight of Alan was a 3 out of 10 to me. This fight will be a real head after for me coming. We'll see how far that experience gets.
Excellent. Well, finally, Ed, as we sort of mentioned earlier, last time you fought in that Barcarlaycard Arena, it was loud. It was a very loud crowd. It was very raucous, and you certainly had the vocal support behind you. You said you're hopefully expecting more of the same come November 14th, but just a word to your fans and what that support means to you.
I tell you what, I love it. Not just on the night as well, leading up into the fight. I've got my friend texting me, calling me. I know what they're like when they're in the venues. It feeds me along the way. I don't ever want to be one of them guys that puts on a boring fight and they feel like they've got to come. I want them to be excited to come as much as I want to fight. And by the way, they ring and text me and tell me about it all the time. They're going crazy for it as well. So I love it. I mean, it fuels me all the time.
And we're all super excited for it. Thanks again for your time, sir. It's been a pleasure having you on, and we look forward to speaking to you again soon. Best of luck come November 14th.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Well, moving on to the 155-pound division, and martial arts Chad caught up with Gavin Sterrett ahead of what is now the vacant lightweight title. The Warhorse is coming off a 3-fight win streak in Bellator and now looking to become the BAMMA lightweight king.
Ready, go!
Let's get right into your BAMMA debut, sir. In fact, before we touch on that, just a wee side note. Your last 3 fights, obviously, 3 wins. You were 3-0 in the Bellator MMA promotion. But you're now joining us back in Blighty with the BAMMA promotion. What was your thoughts on that transition and how you sort of led your journey from Bellator to now to BAMMA, sir?
I'll be honest. I was treated pretty shoddily by Bellator. I think everybody, sort of kind of knows the background to that story.
Yeah.
And I went from sort of being quite disillusioned with the sport and sort of some people in general to then speaking to BAMMA and that sort of come up. It was kind of a situation. Every cloud has a silver lining, kind of thing. And and BAMMA come up offered this fight, and I jumped at it. It was, I think it was meant to be. To be perfectly honest, looking back at the way the cards fell now, so I'm really happy about it. To be honest with you, I really trying to leave all that negative stuff behind me and just crack on and get on with what's in front of me.
Onwards and upwards. And you're on this 6-fight win streak here, but you get thrown right into the deep end. Title challenger as well as Matt Stapleton. Both you gentlemen vying for that vacant lightweight title. But the first and most obvious question for that is how are you feeling and how's training been leading up to Saturday?
As well as it's got, I think of everyone says the same thing all the time. I think, don't they always say, "I like the best camp ever."
Yeah.
It's been I've climbed Everest and all this, and I can honestly say I have actually had the best camp ever. I was really, really happy with it.
Yeah.
I did everything that I wanted to do, and I feel as fit and as strong as I've ever felt throughout my career. So I'm super happy with it. Yeah, super happy with it. Super confident. I'm ready to go, looking forward to it.
And so what do you make of your opponent, Stapleton? He's been on a bit of a tear since signing with the promotion, defeating Fournier and his debut and that back and forth victory over Jeremy Pateley. Are you confident of getting a W, and how do you see the fight going down?
No disrespect to Martin Stapleton at all, but it could be, it doesn't matter who it is for me. If I perform, then no one's living with me. That's the end of it. It'll be a W, and it'll be a win for me. Whichever way that may come. He might give up. He might get knocked out. Whatever. But if I perform, that's it. It's done with, and I put myself in the best position to do that job. So that's how I see the fight going. To win for me, or.
Of course, this fight is obviously at 155, but previously we've seen you fight with other promotions at welterweight. So how have you found the cut and dropping down to lightweight? Has that been an easy transition for you, Gavin?
Yeah, I mean, we were looking at doing it maybe about 18 months ago, and I was trying to get, the manager was trying to talk me into it a little bit.
Yeah.
About 18 months ago, we had a fight in Bellator, and he said, after this fight, we're going to go to lightweight, and I was like, huh? Hold on a minute. And we did a sort of a test of it last year, and it was fine, to be honest with you. It was not a problem for me.
Yeah.
I've always been in good shape. I've never sort of get out of shape in between camps. I'm not one of these guys that goes and blows up and goes, to the moon and back. I'm not one of these guys. I keep myself ticking over nice, and I watch what I eat, and I clean living a little bit. So, it's not difficult, just to clean up the diet a bit and do a bit more running, and that's it. I'll tell you something else, it's not set in stone that I'm 100% a lightweight now. Welterweight, they better not breathe easy too easy either, because if the fight comes up, I'll jump back up, I'll jump up to middleweight. It doesn't bother me, I'll fight anyone.
It shows, I guess, your diversity as a mixed martial artist. You're willing to just take on fights, lightweight, welterweight. It sounds like you're just hungry for fights, sir. But the BAMMA card, like I said, it's packed with title fights, being billed as, the night of champions. But how does it feel for you, fighting in Birmingham at that Barcarlaycard Areana? Last time it was rocking, and it was quite a loud and raucous atmosphere. And you're in the main event of a title fight. I take it that excites you?
Definitely. I went to the BAMMA show. One of the BAMMA shows. I don't really go to shows, to be honest with you. I kind of keep a low profile. I don't really go out. But the last BAMMA show I went to, I was taken aback by the atmosphere. The atmosphere is really, really good, and I thought then there was no inkling of me fighting on with BAMMA then at that point, but I did think then, I thought, I could fight here. It's nice, it's good, and it's nice it's come about like that in that way, because I really didn't think I'd fight in the UK